Good morning.
I hereby call this meeting of Lake Mary Toastmasters Club 644 to order. Before we begin, please silence your cell phones. I would like to ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Our club mission is to provide a supportive learning environment through which members feel empowered to become better public speakers by developing their competent communication and leadership skills. This morning, I would like to introduce our Toastmaster this morning. This is Phyllis H.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our open house of the year. Thank you for guests and visitors for arriving today. Our focus of our meeting today, we always do a theme. The Toastmaster, who has volunteered to be the Toastmaster for the day, chooses a theme, and we go along through that theme throughout the entire meeting. Today's theme, since we have visitors and guests, and is focused on you, our visitors and guests today, is what is Toastmasters about? And we're going to talk throughout the meeting today, not just Toastmasters in general, but our own club here at Lake Mary Toastmasters. Because each club does have a little different tone, a little different flavor to each club. So, Toastmasters first is about improving your speech. That is the main focus. As everyone knows, you go to Toastmasters and you do speeches. As you start your Competent Communicator Manual, this is the first thing that you'll get as a new member. You go through this, there's a series of 10 speeches, and this is focusing and helping you to focus on the basics of speech making. Not only your presentation here, but also the presentation and prep that you do before a meeting. There are no specific topics that you have to hit. In fact, our club invites all topics. We do not have any limitations or focus on what you are allowed to speak about. In your 10 speeches that you do throughout your initial Competent Communicator Manual, there also is no time limit. That means once you start as a member, you don't have to get it done in 6 months or 12 months. You can take 5 years if you want.
I did.
To go through and do your Competent Communicator. Another piece of our club that we do, and that all Toastmasters clubs do, if you look at your agenda at the bottom, you will see we have times throughout and at the bottom of the end of our meeting to do evaluations. It is expected that you will participate as an evaluator, either individually after everyone does a speech. We are all encouraged to do a short, brief evaluation of each speaker. You'll see at your desk or at your tabletop, there are little sheets, and those are just evaluations. You just put your initial thoughts and impressions. There's some guidelines there, but you can give different feedback if you see something different you'd like to tell the speaker about. And then we fold it in half and put the person's name on it, and then we pass it around to that person so they have them at the end of the day. Those are the two big core components of what you'll see at each of our Toastmasters meetings. So moving forward throughout our meeting, we also have a time period where we do table topics. And table topics is a time in each club meeting where everyone is prompted to do extemporaneous speaking, where the person who is the table topics master has a list of questions, generally on theme, that they will generally say the topic first so that everyone is aware, and then they'll narrow in on the person that they want to answer that question. It is a shortened time. You don't have to, you're expected to speak about a minute, and we also have our timer who will tell you if you are within the time frames. How we choose people to do the extemporaneous speaking is if you are not actively participating in the meeting that day. So if you're a speaker, we try not to pick on you for table topics. If you're evaluating a speaker, we try not to pick on you for table topics. But we do have that in every meeting. We have some various extemporaneous speaking that you may be able to participate in. And then at the end, we also have our general evaluator and our technical table who do the reporting of sorry, I'm forgetting my word, not the objective criteria. We have an awe counter who goes through and has been keeping track of all the ahs and ums, and double clutches is one of my bad things I do often of when you were speaking. We have the timer who evaluates if you are within the time frame of what you're expected to speak during the meeting. And then we also have our grammarian who presents our word of the day and also counts how many times and how many people use that word of the day. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our technical table today. We have as awe counter Carrie Bird. You can go ahead and introduce us.
It is my function to listen for the use of filler words such as you know, so, okay, and other audible pauses as fillers. I'll be noting if members perform any double clutches, which means to say things twice, such as this means. And finally, I will also include things which might be distracting, such as lip smacks, clearing your throat, things like that. Exactly. How was that my recording meeting?
Next, we have our grammarian, Devin Martin.
As grammarian, it is my function to select a word of the day to help build members' vocabularies. Each member, when called upon to speak, is encouraged to use the word of the day. Other members may gently rap on the table when they hear a member use the word. The word of the day today is tumultuous, making a loud and confused noise, or excited, confused, and disorderly. In addition, I will be listening for any errors in grammar, as well as excellent word selections. I will also be noting colorful thoughts or phrases members might use. During the evaluation portion of the meeting, I will present my report.
And as our timer, we have Julia Kaufman.
Yes, I had the tumultuous job. For our two speakers, you have 5 to 7 minutes. You'll see the green card at 5, the yellow at 6, and your time's up, the red. I'll also time table topics portion as well as our evaluators, and I'll provide the report at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
And just to further pick on and point out our technical table for today, Carrie Bird is a seasoned Toastmaster, and Carrie, how many books have you completed, or where are you at in your cycles, if you don't mind us asking?
I've completed 3 books, my confident communication manual, the speaking to inform, and the entertaining speaker. I just completed that and got my advanced communication rounds.
Thank you. Devin, as a newer member, can you let us know where you're at? And also, I believe, if you don't mind me pointing out, this is the first time you've taken a role.
Yeah, this is my first evaluator role. I did my icebreaker.
Yes.
That's it.
Yay!
And Julia, if you could let us know where you're at, and again, a seasoned Toastmaster and former president, you are a past president, or most recent past president.
Past area governor too.
So I've been a member for 12 years and love Toastmasters. I joined because of my fear of getting in front of groups of people. I still get nervous, still get butterflies, but you learn to control them. I do love giving speeches now. Sometimes I do well, sometimes I still don't. I stay with Toastmasters because of the people in the group and the stories I hear. Thank you.
With no further ado, let me introduce our our first speaker of the day. We have Gene McCulley, who is working on his Competent Communicator Manual, speech number 6, vocal variety. On this speech, he is focusing, you can see this is on your agenda, he's focusing on voice volume, pitch, that's supposed to be tone, I believe, and quality to reflect and add meaning and interest to the message. Use pauses to enhance the message. Use vocal variety smoothly and naturally. Please welcome Gene McCulley.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, potential Toastmasters, guests, visitors, etc. So last week I was attending the annual conference and expo of the National Funeral Directors Association in Philadelphia. It was a much less tumultuous expo than others I have attended. I was representing McCulley Marine Services to inform people, well, funeral home directors primarily, about our new artificial memorial reef washrooms. Being completely ignorant of this domain, it was quite educational for me. I'm going to share some things I've learned with you. In business, the term total addressable market means the revenue opportunity for a particular service. So that's the entire market you can get to if there are no competitors at all. Some markets are bigger than others. For example, the market for ham sandwiches is not available to those whose religion excludes consumption of pork. The market for beard combs will never get much more than 50% of the market of humans, no matter how fashionable beards become. For the funeral homes, the total addressable market is everybody, because we're all going to die. The death care industry, which I've learned is another term for the funeral home industry, handles in the United States 2.4 million funerals a year and takes in over $20 billion in revenue. For comparison, there were about $30 billion worth of iPhones sold last year. I'm not sure what that means. I just want to point it out. There are different demographics for cremation. I was not aware of this. I had thought maybe, okay, well, I hadn't really thought about it until it was pointed out to me. Wouldn't have thought otherwise. Some people prefer, cremation over burial, and some others. There are different demographics to that. In the South, by which we mean every place a little bit north of here, prefer burial over cremation. Over on the West Coast, like California, they prefer cremation over burial. Black people prefer burial more. White people are more accepting of cremation. You can make diamonds from people. There's a lab in Switzerland. They service 33 countries. They have a waiting list. You can send a pound of ashes of your loved one in. They will filter out the carbon from these ashes, and they will grow a diamond. This diamond is not clear. It has a bluish tint. The tint is based on how much boron is contained in your loved one by chemotherapy. A 1 carat diamond will only cost you $20,000. It's got a little engraving of the number up there. It's unique. It's got a certificate and everything. But be aware, just last week the Pope issued an edict that this is expressly disallowed. You may not be scattering the ashes or wearing grandma. There are urns for pets. This is not surprising. What surprised me was the just huge quantity and various ways in which you can honor your pet. The enormous amount of money you can spend on urns for pets, everything from dogs and cats to horses. There are many kinds of creepy fluid transfer devices designed to extract all the fluids out of a human and then replace them with embalming fluid. These are marketed based on the speed they operate at, so as to maximize the return on investment to the funeral home. DNA banking. I love the faces in the crowd right now. That's the face I have, walking around for 3 days. You can take a DNA sample of your loved one right after they're deceased, and then they can bank this for you, or you can keep a copy, or both. And these can be used not just as a memento, but to inform doctors for medical diagnosis and treatment. Burial vaults made from everything: wood, fiberglass, concrete, titanium, steel, so you can potentially keep the corpse intact for eternity. I'm not sure that's a good idea. Photos printed on the casket. You can have high quality color photos printed on the casket of your loved one or things your loved one was doing, like grandma hang gliding. around a casket, put it on the ground. That's not far away from the actual examples. Caskets will be colors and logos of your favorite sports teams. These are actually licensed by the organizations behind the sports teams, like the Major League Baseball organization, NFL, and the NBA, ensuring that whatever rich guy owns that team gets a cut. Laser engraved tokens, pendants, and keychains with fingerprints of your loved one on there. I actually thought that was kind of classy. That was like one of the least creepiest things I saw. Lots and lots of U.S. flags and ways to honor veterans and other patriots. Just many ways. That was like a big thing. And of course, memorial artificial reef modules. In short, there are lots of options, and they're growing. Depth, everybody's doing it. Thank you.
Exactly.
1 minute on the clock, please. What we're doing now, just a brief explanation, is we always have 1 minute so that you can sit and do your evaluations quietly.
Fail. I dare you.
So at this time, generally if you need to wrap up, you'll have a few moments to wrap up, as the Toastmaster usually makes a few more comments. And so I'll go ahead and start making my comments so that you're a little bit more prepared. So this does not become a tumultuous thing for you to start Toastmasters and you're just tossed into the sea of figure it out yourself. We actually do assign mentors to you. So once you complete your application and pay your membership fee, then in the next meeting or so, we'll assign one of our club members who has been trained to be a mentor to mentor you through your first few cycles of speeches. There's someone you can talk to, they can answer any questions you have, and generally assist you on learning what Toastmasters is and how our meetings progress. So our next speaker is Shayne Jasper, and he will be speaking to us from the Competent Communication Manual number 4, How to Say It. It is, and again, if you refer to your agenda, this speech is going to be focused on words and sentence structure, communicating the ideas clearly, accurately, and vividly, rhetorical devices that enhance and emphasize the ideas, no jargon or unnecessary words, correct grammar use. With a speech entitled, I'm Afraid, please welcome Shayne Jasper.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster, members and guests. I have a confession to make to you all. And that confession is that I'm afraid. Fear is a pretty powerful thing when you think about it. It can cause a person to freeze right when they need to move. It can cause your tongue to swell right when you need to speak. It can cause your mind to go blank at the very moment you need to think, and it can literally stop you in your tracks right when you need to jump. And I'm afraid. But why am I afraid? I promise this is going to be a much more tumultuous speech than our previous one. Because I'm afraid, because I see terrorists killing people in other countries and in ours. I see Hispanics illegally crossing our borders, stealing from us and killing us and raping us. I see cops killing black men, and I see black men killing white men in retaliation. I see governments making secret deals behind closed doors that are not in the best interest of our people. I see my paychecks shrinking every year. I see my healthcare costs rising. I see bills being passed that are in the interest of corporations and not in the interest of the people that they're supposed to serve. I see my future slipping away. 6 weeks ago, my wife and I took a trip to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. After seeing all the flood videos and what these victims were going through, we decided we wanted to do something to help. I had a couple of thousand shirts left over from my events, and I'd been trying to think of something to do with them. So I had this crazy idea to post it on Facebook and see if anybody wanted to take a trip with me to Baton Rouge. And I had an overwhelming response. Within 24 hours, I had somebody donate a hotel. I had 2 people donate money to cover gas and the rental for the U-Haul. I had people donating blankets, toiletries, more clothing for these victims. And then my wife decided that she was going to go with me to Baton Rouge. I hadn't really cleared the idea with her first. When we got there, after dropping off the donations, we got connected with a group called the St. Bernard Project. They were founded out of New Orleans shortly after Hurricane Katrina. And they literally help people that have no flood or hurricane insurance rebuild their homes for free. They do this using donated tools, donated materials. They're driving donated Toyota Tundras. They're using full-time volunteer team leaders leading teams of volunteers. We met people there from New Jersey, Kansas, Texas, California, and even Florida. These people are human resources managers. These people were lawyers. These people were real estate agents. These people were office personnel. These people were warehouse workers. And this was hard, disgusting, manual labor. We were in there tearing out walls, tearing out cupboards, removing appliances, tearing out doors, floors, and carpets. Oh my. This was not easy work. And these people were willing to, on their own dime, fly or drive across the country and help out just because. And I realized something in those 5 days. I realized that humans are goddamn amazing. I realized that I don't know why I'm afraid. I realized that all of the things that I thought I was afraid of were not from my own experience. Because you know what? I don't know any terrorists. I don't know any cops killing black men. I don't know any black men killing white men in retaliation. I don't know any Hispanics that are killing and raping people. I don't know what goes on behind the doors of the Senate. I don't know most of these things that I'm afraid of. My experience has been that humans are kind and loving, and they care about each other, and they want to help each other, and they want to see us move forward and have a better future. My experience has been that no matter what difficulties I've been through in my life, I've been able to come out on top as long as I focus on what I can control and what I have the ability to change, and that's it. So, why am I so afraid? Who has taught me that I should live my life in fear? Who's taught you that you should live your life in fear? Thank you.
1 minute for evaluations, please.
Fine.
So the next portion of our meeting, is when we do our table topics, which I discussed previously. One of the reasons why we do the table topics at this time is because each speaker who presented today has a specific person who is evaluating them based off of the criteria of that particular speech. So when I was giving the description of what the speaker was focusing on in their speech, that is what the evaluator is going to be looking at them and making comments, and they're going to be coming up and giving a presentation about that evaluation. So this gives them a little bit more time, and also our general evaluator gives them some more time to go through and make those notes for when they do their presentation. We did have someone assigned, but they did not make it today. So this is one thing also you will learn as we go through Toastmasters is things don't always go exactly to plan, even when we do have the same plan every week. So we have to be able to move and shake on a moment's notice. So I'm going to go ahead and do the table topics for today. And I've come up with a few ideas based off of our topic of Toastmasters. So my first is, please describe to me a situation that you have had involving toast. We'll start with Julia Buck.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. Toast, just so happens I toasted some toast this weekend. If you've ever seen the Pepperidge Farm swirl bread, you know that it's like millimeter thick, right? You know that we have a toaster that toasts bagels. So I put it in, push the button, goes down, and I'm going, 4 is not gonna get it. It's gonna be black. So I come back in, 3, come back in, 2, and it's still black. Warning, Pepperidge Farm swirl bread. Do not put on max setting for bagels. Thank you.
Could you please describe for me a skill or activity that you have mastered? Samuel Bailey.
Thank you. Now on table topics. A skill or
Activity.
that I have mastered. Well, considering how you never truly master anything, and how you are always learning, and even the people that are the best will always find new ways to improve, such as the man that sat in the ice bucket keeps breaking on the world record, or Michael Phelps who kept on winning the gold medals. You always have room for self-improvement. For me, I feel that I've now been able to be a competent communicator in Toastmasters, but also nailing the interview because I managed to get a job and then a backup job in the same day when I moved into the area. So I can confidently say now, because of Toastmasters, I have acquired the skills to be able to be a competent communicator. Thank you.
Have you ever followed a master or someone who has been a master at a skill that you are trying to learn? Ethan.
Gotta stand, brother, gotta stand.
Go Ethan.
My mind is racing. That's a tough one, especially following him. But if I take it back to the days when I used to run track, I'd like to take it back to California. For a couple of weeks, I had the opportunity to go for a coaching clinic with Carl Lewis. Those who know Carl Lewis. And for 2 weeks, he taught us how he went through his training programs and how he ran, how he did his long jump, and how he secured gold medals, even though when he started at the starting block feeling that he was not as prepared as he should have been, or that other people were more prepared than he was. So I guess that would be it.
Please tell me about a tumultuous time that you have either enjoyed or despised. Stephen.
Madam Table Topics Master, for those who've been here long enough, which would be Stephany and Julia. When I went through the divorce back in 2004, I was a member at the time, and lasted even to when Stephany joined. That was extremely tumultuous. It was a difficult time in the sense that my wife at the time was going through chemotherapy and breast cancer, dealing with that, but I was also at a job that I didn't want to be in, but you needed the health insurance, so it was being stuck in a situation of not wanting to be at home, not wanting to be at work. What's left? The 2 Toastmasters clubs I was in, this one in Omni Toastmasters, meets down the road AAA. It wasn't that I was talking about it, it was really not easy to talk about, since who wants to hear about my problems, she's going through cancer. And I wasn't getting up and doing much. But what it was helpful to do was be able to come here and sit down, just simply watching people get up and each week just working on getting better. And it may be little steps. It always comes through in little steps. But when you see people getting better, you realize what you're going through can get better, and you will get better. And that's the best part about what I found within Toastmasters itself. The people who come here that bother to do it are just working to improve. And you put yourself around people who are trying to improve, what's going to happen to you? Madam Table Topics.
Can you tell me about a competition that you have been involved in? Stephany.
I'm not much of a competitor because I'm a poor loser. I have no sportsmanship about me. I never played sports. I despise it. I don't like being touched. I don't like being pummeled. I don't like balls coming at me. Gutter.
Oh, it's Richard.
Oh, down.
That was intentional.
However, I
She set us up.
did a couple of years ago enter the international speech contest, and I actually made it through district where I bombed. But I did it, and I didn't die. I didn't go out in the parking lot and start slashing tires. I didn't do any of those things. I made it through, and I had a good time. Thank you, man.
We are now in the month of November, November 1st on a Tuesday. What is your opinion about No Shave November?
No what?
No Shave November. And if you don't know what it is, could you explain a little bit to us about it? Rich.
I'm going to be very honest, Madam Table Topics. Master, I don't know much about No Shave November. Can somebody educate me on it? Shayne, you don't shave very much.
My mustache can educate you on
Yes. Can your mustache tell me what No Shave November is?
Yeah.
Nope.
No, we can't?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Do you
Now, table
I'm laying it up.
Mr. Deflector. No Shave November is in honor of, or in recognition of, and to make aware of testicular cancer. Women have breast cancer month. Men have Movember. You grow a mustache for November, it's No Shave November.
Okay. So since I liked my testicles, I will be definitely not shaving in November. Thank you.
And let's do, I think we have time for one more. Could you tell me about a fun moment that you have had and enjoyed in Toastmasters? Gus.
topic master, fellow Toastmasters and guests and new members. One of the things I like about Toastmasters is this magazine. How many of you received this?
Yeah. All the membership.
Every member, when you get your competent communicator and your leadership, what's the title of that book? The leadership book. You monthly get a magazine. I think sometimes I use it at different locations in my house. Take that in. Stop right here. If I said it, it may be tumultuous for some of you. But this is one of the activities or engagements with Toastmasters that have helped me over the years. For some reasons, it tells me how global Toastmaster is. We're not just located in Lake Mary. One of the things I love looking at will be the pictures that people take around the world. You will read articles that will enhance your own skills. Something you'll be challenged or struggling with, you will see someone write an article about it. This is something that Toastmasters has provided for me in terms of my own personal and professional development. Madam Toastmaster General Valley.
So that is how our table topics go. We base that based off of the time. We're actually a little bit ahead of schedule, but I want to make sure we have plenty of time to get into our evaluations and for some other items that we have on our agenda today. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to our general evaluator, who is Lori Richards.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. We come to the educational part of our meeting now, where our prepared speakers will have prepared evaluations. And I've spoken to some people who were guests before, and they have said, I don't want somebody evaluating me. That's scary. And it's actually not, because and this is just a reminder to our evaluators also, we want to keep it positive, and then give the speaker something that they can work on, or maybe something that we found distracting, and then end on a positive note. Because when we leave Toastmasters, if you talk to anyone who's been a member here, they will tell you that this is a very uplifting meeting. And we come because then we feel energized, we can start the rest of our day, and it really goes well. And so we want everyone to leave with that positive feeling. Toastmasters is a safe place. It's not a place where you come to get beat up. And we're all, like Stephen said, we're all working on improving ourselves. Right, Ernst? Yes. Yes. I take it that's like, hurry up, Lori, it took me too long. He was yawning at me. So, without any further ado, let's bring up our first evaluator. She will be evaluating Jean McCulley's speech, so Stacy Bravenet.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and friends. Jean, I just wanted to tell you, you told us a tumultuous tale of an invention that I had never heard about. But it makes sense, because everybody who's in any field has conventions. So funeral directors need a convention. I know as a massage therapist, I have a convention. But Jean, what I really liked about your speech is that you kept it light, and you were able to keep us laughing throughout the whole speech, which I thought was great, because it's kind of a dark subject. I mean, but everybody is going there eventually. And so I did like your speech. I also thought your volume and your pitch was very good for this speech. The quality, you kept it light, funny, and you told us the different examples of how people honor their loved ones and their pets. I like that you added the horses, because I'm the horse nut. And your speech was also very organized, so you were able to stay on point, you were able to keep the flow going really well. One thing I thought that you could work on a little bit is move around a little bit more throughout your speeches. But other than that, you kept a really kind of an interesting topic light. which is great. Thank you.
Also for our guests, our speakers get evaluated and also our evaluators get evaluated. We work simultaneously on our communication manual and also on our leadership manual, or we try to do that. We encourage our members to do that. And so Stacy probably has someone evaluating her on how she did as an evaluator. Bringing up our next evaluator, who will be giving us her take on Shayne's speech, is Teryl.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. Shayne's objective with his fourth speech was to use clear, accurate, descriptive, and short words. He was to choose verbs that conveyed action. He was to use very simple and short sentence and paragraph construction. Rhetorical devices were okay, jargon was a no-no, and correct grammar was also one of the purposes of this speech. I thought it was pretty well executed on every point. I thought you used very clear, accurate, descriptive, short words, and you used very short sentences when you began talking about fear right away. I'm afraid. Why are you afraid? I noticed most of your sentences used 3 to 4 words at most, so I thought you did really well with that. You said stop you in your track. Thought that was a very illustrative example of helped us visualize when we were talking about trying to convey the importance, or I guess the effect of fear. You said future slipping away, and I thought that also helped evoke some emotion in your audience and caught our attention. You used repetition really well, maybe almost a little bit, but it might have just been too much just because I was so attuned to what you were saying. But I did think it was effective, so some of the examples you said, donated tools, donated materials, donated trucks. These people were human resources folks, these people, you said tearing out carpets, tearing out this, tearing out that. So these are triads, which you were supposed to use as part of your assignment, where you grouped things or words or ideas in threes to make them more dramatic, and I thought that you did that really effectively with this speech. And it also gave your speech a really nice rhythm, which helped us tune our ear very intently to what you were saying. You also used very active words. You weren't supposed to use any passive sentences, so you said, I went, I am afraid, we are, very short active words. And then you used very vivid words when you talked about, again, I used the example of your future slipping away. It's a very, very vivid description. You also used your words very economically with your, these short but powerful sentences. And they were very powerful. Some of the words you said, like I am GD proud, sorry, can't say that word. And you said people are kind. So it was, again, very short, but made it very emphatic and helped us really focus on what you were saying. And I thought it was really well organized because you started with this provoking opening, and then you took us along on this journey of what you went through, and then you delivered us right back to where you started, but we all had a different perspective and understanding at that point. So I thought that was really effective. A little bit of jargon. You said literally, so that you probably would need to come out from behind the podium. That's what I always hear. I'm not sure I agree because I like it back here, but everybody says. And then you did a little bit of rocking as you were speaking. That's something I do, so I always pick up on it. Overall, I thought it was well organized. I thought you hit really effectively on all of your objectives, and you established a great place, or great pace and rhythm right from your opening sentence. So thank you, very powerful speech.
So as you can see, getting formal feedback is not tumultuous. But I'm getting ready to introduce get the reports from our technical table, and I wanted to squeeze that word in there because our club, we we encourage the use of the word of the day. And if you don't use it when you're speaking, what do we charge?
25 cents.
25 cents. To members, and somebody who's not doing their icebreaker.
No shade.
We also have a fee. Our out counter will tell us, how many infractions we have, how many times we have filler words or double clutches, and we charge 5 cents. Okay, so
Don't forget to pay.
don't forget to pay, and I
Charge you one thing,
have
paying
had
is
to
another.
work into my house at times because I'm one of the worst offenders. So let's get to our technical table. Let's go with our, let's start with our timer, and maybe you could get the word in there.
She already did.
Oh, yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, kept track on time. We had Jean that spoke for 5 minutes, 20 seconds. Shayne spoke for 6 minutes. Julia, for your table topic, 45 seconds. Samuel, 50 seconds. Ethan, 44. Stephen, 1:26. Stephany, 47. Rich/Shayne, 54 seconds. Gus spoke for 1:16. Stacy, your evaluation's a bit short, girlfriend. You spoke for just 1:32. Teryl took up your time. She spoke for 3:47.
Okay, let's get the report from Devin, our grammarian. How do you do?
Devin.
Really good day. Phyllis, you used the word of the day twice. I liked extemporaneous. That was a good use of the English language. Jean used it once. I liked least creepiest. That was a good one. And then Deb, comma, everybody doing it is, or everybody is doing it. I thought that was good. Shayne, one use of the word of the day. Misuse of words, it just sounded weird. Take a trip to me was just a fumble. But then I really liked full-time team leaders leading full teams. It was just a good little kind of repetition there. And then you've got, got flooring, carpeting. Oh my, I've ripped carpet, that stuff. It's not fun. Julia, you didn't use the word, but you toasted some toast. Other Julia. Toasted some toast, I like that. Nothing from Samuel, Ethan, Stephen 1, Stephany nothing, Rich nothing, Gus 1, Lori 1, Stacy 1, Teryl, emphatic. I like the word emphatic, and Julia. So, that's my report.
And Miss Carrie Bird on count.
Stacy, 1 on, 1 so, 1 and. Phyllis, 7 ahs, 9 so's, 6 double clutches. I had 2 ahs. Devin has 7 ahs, 1 you know. Julia Kaufman, 1 ah. Jean, 2 ahs, 2 so's, 1 you know, 1 double clutch. Shayne, you had 1 double clutch. Lori, 4 ahs, 1 so, 1 like, 1 double clutch. Teryl, 10 ahs, 2 you knows, 2 double clutches, 4 lips backed. Sam, 1 so, Rich, 2 ahs. That's my report.
Can I explain how to figure out how much money you
have?
You multiply times 5 cents. It's 10, it's 50. 7 is 35.
Raise about like $50. Now as a general evaluator, as a general evaluator now, after we've gotten our formal evaluations of our speeches, the general evaluator just will evaluate the overall meeting, the way the room was set up, the flow, and just advise or give her or his opinion about anything that could be improved. This is a different meeting for us because this is our open house. So the format is a little bit different, but we started on time, and I liked the way that Phyllis explained each part of the meeting as we were going. So not only was it helpful for anybody who's not been here before, but it kind of is a refresher for all of us as well. Our evaluators did a good job with the sandwich technique, what you did good, something you can improve on, and end it on a positive note. And we had good participation. I'm really happy about that. This is a really nice, active, vibrant club, and everyone likes to jump in there, so really happy about that. Overall, great meeting. Thank you to the Sergeant at Arms who always gets here early and has to set everything up. And for today, for everybody else who jumped in to help get the room set up, because we had a meeting just prior. I think it was a great meeting. And now I want to turn it over to me for the club business. Yes, smooth, right? We have some people here that have visited before, and I wanted to just recognize them. Shayne, correct? She was invited here before by Tara, who's no longer here. She moved out of state. But Shayne's back, and I wanted to ask you what you thought of our meeting. And it looks like you're filling out paperwork. So you've got a member. So tell us what you thought, Shayne.
Thank you. I'm also, I guess, rich and
Guess friends with me.
that guy. So I came here before. My name's Shayne. Hi. I'm really nervous, by the way. But I found this group to be really funny. Last time I was here, it was I actually gave a Toastmasters icebreaker speech in Altamont. So I have an icebreaker, so to speak. I signed up. I'm going to be a member, and I'm here to grow. I'm here to progress, and I just want to be around people who are moving forward in life. And
great.
Charity. What you think, Charity?
What did I take to I work with some of these people in here, and I was here 2 weeks ago. There's some of these people. Julia, Teryl, Mac. Anyway, it's interesting. It's very overwhelming. It's very fast paced, and I love it. And I'm here to grow and join. Yes, I am. I actually asked Mac, and I meant to come to your office the other day, but I got a little busy, to pay. But yes, so I'm here to join us.
Oh, nice.
It's very exciting. You guys are all wonderful, and everyone's smiling, and I'm super nervous too. So thank you.
Yay. And there's a pretty woman next to Shayne. He mentioned that was his wife. I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah, I'm better half.
Yes.
My name's Jessica. I'm Shayne's wife. He speaks so highly of everyone and of the experience that is Toastmasters, and I've wanted to come and check it out. I have a huge fear of public speaking. It's coming in between my job and everything, so I've considered. I'm still a little skeptic of just standing here, so but I like the structure. I'm a structured person, so I really enjoyed it.
Okay, so other business reminder, we have our district conference next weekend. The 11th and the 12th. And if did anyone see the email that I sent out? Alexandra bought $150 worth of passes or something, and she's going to be
VIP package.
and she's going to be traveling, so she's not able to make use of it. So if anybody wants to attend the conference, she's willing to let her VIP package go at a discounted rate. So you'll need to contact her, but I mean, save like $50. The other thing that I wanted to mention is, as you're going along and working out of your manuals, it's really important that you let Macarena know when you finish your manual, because then she can get your certificates for you, she can get your next manuals for you after you finish your initial communicator manual. But she can get the recognition for you, and you're working through all this, and you'd like to be recognized, and we would like you to be recognized. So just please remember to see Macarena on that. She's going to tackle you if you don't. You're getting emails or texts from me saying, did you get it to her? Did you get it to her?
I may be short, but I'm mighty.
She is. One other thing is, Christmas is right around the corner. Sorry, I know it's only November 1st, but it's going to get here.
Now you got everyone's here.
Yeah.
Tuesday's
And
elections.
we have a holiday party.
Oh yeah, that's right.
hold on.
Stephany has offered to let us
Right
use
after
her
here.
house on December 17th, which is a Saturday. But we wanted to present it to the club and see if that is a good day for everyone. If not, does someone have another date that they'd like to do it if it's during the week rather than on the weekend? So we're open to that, and if you could let me know or let anybody else know, let's just have a discussion, but we probably need to have it planned really quickly because like this open house just got here just way too quick for us. I'm gonna go home tonight, and I'm gonna wake up and it's gonna be December 1st. So let's try to get it planned. Yeah, it's gonna be. And I believe that's all. Teryl.
Can I go back to the table discussion next week? I find it really hard to do my evaluation. Yeah, it's just for this week with the open house. Oh, okay.
Okay. Julia.
I have a Texas Hold'em party. We've got 14 people coming. I can fit a few more people. So RSVP, $5 to get in the game. And the pot will be like $50, $60. Friday, and you know.
Julia.
Thank you very much. When we held out the Competent Communicator Manual this morning, there's this gorgeous lady in an orange shirt, and she's smiling, and she's reaching out to us, right? That lady does not live at my house anymore. Could you please check your houses to see if you have my manual?
All right, and I don't have the schedule for next week.
It's here, somewhere here.
Do we want to do this first or instead of Q&A?
Sure, we'll wrap up the meeting first and then do Q&A.
Okay, so next week, November 8th, we have speaking Bob, Stacy, Dominic, and Jean. Yay. Table topics is Shayne. Is that good? Table topics? Okay. General evaluator Julia Kaufman. Okay. We have evaluating Gus, Davies, Mucker, and Torres. I'll counter Marty, I'm a grammarian, and Ernst is a timer. So we need a Toastmaster and we needed another evaluator. Takers?
I'll take Toastmaster.
Yeah. Okay, so somebody will need another evaluator. And I will turn it over.
She got it? All right, she's got it. Your second evaluator, or last evaluator right there.
There you go. Okay, make sure you confirm on Easy Speak, and I'm going to turn this back over to Phyllis.
I still hate it. Normally, Lori, as the club president, would be closing out at this time, but I wanted to have a little bit of time for Q&A for any of our guests, visitors, or our new members. If you guys had any questions or comments or anything you'd like to know about, or questions about, hey, I don't get this? Yes? What is it again? Tashina.
Will every group be video camera, YouTube?
What we do, we actually have, Stephen is our, what is your position, Stephen? Public Relations. We record it, and he does post it on our Lake Mary Toastmasters Facebook. We find it as a very helpful tool so that you can go and look at yourself and actually see yourself. If you ever do a speak that you don't want to have posted or recorded, all you gotta do is let Stephen know in advance, and he will either A, not record it, or just make sure that it does not get posted. Okay, good question. Anybody else? That's one of the benefits. Not every club does that. We just happen to have a IT whiz in Stephen, and he takes care of getting all that stuff for us, and it is a very helpful evaluation tool. So since we have any questions, we've got 1 minute. What I would like is if I could ask one of our seasoned Toastmasters, a little mini table topics, could you tell me why is it that, what have you gotten out of Toastmasters, and what is it that you're working toward right now in your Toastmasters journey? And I would like to ask Lori, actually. Could you let us know? Ethan was getting nervous.
I'm not actually not as seasoned as Julia and Stephany and Stephen. I started.
You're so modest.
I started my journey a long time ago, back in, I don't know, like the dark ages, and I only finished 8 speeches, and then life happened and I had to drop out. And so I returned to Toastmasters. I initially started because I wanted to improve my listening skills. I'm in mortgages. I could also, besides processing mortgages at the time, I used to be able to originate, so I made some money on the side. And originating a mortgage is just like selling. And in sales, you have to have good listening skills and to be able to meet someone's needs. I found myself not being able to listen very well. So I came here, life happened, and I returned in November of 2014. And the reason I came back this time is because it was bugging me that I didn't finish my manual. And so I started again and finished it. And so at this point in my life, however many years later, I'm here because I like to check things off and finish them. And I'm like, okay, I got that manual, got this one done. And it just makes me feel like I'm accomplished now since my kids are grown and I don't have to shuttle people anywhere. So that's what I'm doing here, and it does help to be around people that are wanting to improve, people that are funny. I have to share with you that I asked last week for people to tell me why they remain in Toastmasters or why they're here. And one of the funniest ones that I read was Rich's. He was like, I want to be able to speak in front of people without taking off my clothes. Like, we learn a lot, and thank you, Lauren.
Cool, Monty.
One of the things we always like to make sure we do is close promptly at 8:30. We're actually 1 minute over. So Lori, with your permission, I'll go ahead and close the meeting out as president.
Yes.
Thank you.